Hello and welcome to day 7 of the 10-day Yoga for Mental Wellness and Deepening Awareness Challenge. My name is Hannah Ray, and today I have for you a slow vinyasa flow with a theme of adaptability and resilience, learning to flow through change. And we're going to be targeting the water element, which deals with the backsides of our body, the back of our legs, as well as our torso area. So today we don't need any props for this class, but you may require a rolled blanket or a pillow, or may find it a little helpful for one of our poses towards the end. So go ahead and grab anything you think you might want for this class, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and begin today in our child's pose. So finding our ways to our knees, towards the back of the mat. Allow those glutes to settle down to the heels here if you can. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, just begin to walk those hands forward. And you can use any props if you'd like here for a little extra support between the thighs and the calves or under the forehead, but we're not going to be here too long. So just take a moment, begin to find your breath here. Find the connection to this moment. Inhaling mindfully. Exhaling fully and slowly. Letting all the air leave the lungs with each exhale. With your inhale, feel that belly expand between the thighs, drawing that breath into our dantian, that low belly space. That's our space between the belly button and the pubic bone. Inhaling deeply. Exhale fully and slowly. And today our intention is I move through change with grace, or I accept that which I cannot control. So go ahead and choose whichever intention or mantra you wish today. Just repeat that a few times mentally as we stay here for a moment longer. Breathing in acceptance. Exhale, releasing anything that's not serving you, anything you've been holding on to that is out of your control. Take another inhale. This time with your exhale, begin to slowly roll through the spine as we come forward. And maybe you're just going to come up toward this tabletop position. As we exhale, begin to drop that belly down as we round back down to child's pose. Again, flowing with the breath here. Inhale with fluidity as we begin to round those hips forward. If you can, maybe you're going to come a little bit farther forward before we exhale, dropping those hips, rounding back down to child's pose. Inhale, rounding forward. Maybe dropping those hips all the way down towards our upward facing dog today. Exhale, rounding back. Finding fluidity with the breath, between the breath and the movement here. Again, just making this feel good for the spine. Just meeting yourself where you're at today, making this wave as big or as small as feels right for you. Accepting where you're at without judgment. Just meeting yourself here. Inhale, bring those hips all the way forward to upward dog this time if you haven't yet. Maybe lifting those thighs up off the mat. Be sure that you're pressing through the elbows here, that we aren't sinking through the shoulders. Relax through the glutes. Everything heavy. As you exhale, dip that right hip down, looking over the left shoulder. Take a breath in. Let it go. Returning to center. With your next exhale, dipping that left hip down. Looking over the right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Good, return to center. So exhale, rounding back to child's pose again. This time we're going to inhale, coming to our hands and knees, our tabletop position. Be sure those wrists are below the shoulders, the knees below the hips. Inhale, drop that belly down. Exhale, round. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round, pressing those hips forward. Inhale, drop that belly, look up. Exhale, round. Good, return to neutral. Here we're gonna step the right foot between the hands now. Bringing the chest up. Tuck those hips under and begin to slowly shift them forward so we don't have an arch through the back here. Everything is aligned. And just sinking those hips forward as far as you can. Now, if you have blocks, this is a place where you might find some props helpful, though they're not required. So you can place the hands on blocks or down to the mat here. Take an inhale. As you exhale, begin to shift those hips back, thinking about squaring them off, so pulling that front hip back slightly, pressing that back hip forward a bit. Again, inhale, dropping forward. Exhale, sinking it back. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, sink those hips forward. Let's inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale, sweep them forward. Chin to the chest. Exhale, begin to drive those elbows back as the head slowly comes up and the palms come up, opening through the chest. So that 2 more times. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, open. Inhale, sweeping the arms forward. Exhale, driving the elbows back and opening through the chest. 1 more time. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, sweeping forward, really reaching through those arms. Exhale, beginning to peel that chest open once more. You can release the hands again. Inhale. Exhale, sink back over that back knee once more. Finding stillness here for a moment. Perhaps pulling those toes toward the shins. Releasing. Pulling them up. And releasing. Just noticing how this changes the sensation. Breathing through the movement. Breathing through any discomfort here. Exhale, pull those shins forward or those toes forward. Inhale, release. Exhale, flex. Inhale, release. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale, shift those hips forward again. Plant the hands, tuck those back toes under as you step your way into a plank. Exhale, chaturanga, or maybe you're gonna come down to the knees, chin and chest. Inhale, slide forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes under, lead with the hips as we begin to press our way back into down dog. Maybe keeping a bend in the knees here, making sure that that back is flat, that we aren't rounded through the top of our down dog here. Space between the thumb and index finger should be pointing forward toward the front of the mat. Elbows drawing downward. Take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly begin to round through the spine, coming into a plank. Now, if this is a bit too much for you today, you can always go back to that child's pose spinal roll here. from the knees instead. With your exhale, lead with the hips. Begin to dip the low belly as we lead with the hips back to that down dog. Inhale, rounding forward. Exhale, rounding back. Inhale, waving it forward. Maybe dropping those hips all the way down to up dog this time. And exhale, lead with those hips as we press back for down dog. One more inhale. Exhale, come back down to the hands and knees. Stepping that left foot forward this time. Again, let's come up, find that tall chest. Make sure that front knee is stacked or aligned above the ankle here. Tuck those hips under so we don't have that arch in the low back, and begin to just sink those hips forward. Finding your low lunge here. Inhale. Exhale, slowly begin to sink back over that back knee. Again, thinking about pulling that back hip forward slightly, that front hip back slightly and pressing that back hip forward a bit. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale. Halfway split. Inhale for low lunge. Exhale, halfway split. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, halfway split. Inhale for lunge. Kind of bringing that chest back up. So inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale, sweep forward. Exhale, beginning to drive the elbows back. Head coming up last. Inhale, reaching up, actively reaching through those fingertips. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, sweeping forward. Exhale, open. One more time, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, coming forward. And exhale, opening up through that chest. Gotta go ahead and release the hands again. Take an inhale. As you exhale, sink back over that back knee again. Make sure that hip is above the knee, squaring them off, pulling that front hip back slightly, back hip forward. And again, just finding your stillness here, finding your breath. Take an inhale. And if you want to go deeper with your exhale, begin to pull those toes toward the shin. Inhale, release. Exhale, flex. Inhale, release. Exhale, flex. Continuing to move with your breath and stay connected between that breath and the body here. Staying present with your experience of this pose, of this moment. Releasing any judgment. Using the breath to help flow through this movement with ease, as small as it is. Take one more inhale. With your exhale, gently bring those hips forward once more, planting the hands, stepping back into our plank pose, pressing through those shoulder blades or coming down to the knees if you need to. Exhale, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, sinking back to the knees now. We're just going to find your way over onto the back of the mat here. Now this is where you can use a little blanket here if you want to wedge those hips just slightly. It's not required. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold from the hips first. Much as you can with that flat back. Take another inhale to lengthen. Exhale, just finding stillness here. Maybe reaching for those toes if you can. Pull them closer towards the shins. And just giving the back side of the body a little bit more love here. Bring that attention back to the breath. Inhaling acceptance. Exhale, releasing that which you cannot control. Inhale, creating space, creating stillness. Exhale, surrendering to what is. Good. Go ahead and release those hands now. Just move your blanket if you have one here. We're just going to place the hands beneath the shoulders here. Inhale, as you exhale, pressing up through those hips, maybe dropping the head back. There's a little supine plank here. Be sure that you're engaging through the glutes, not through the back, to support those hips up. Inhale, and exhale. One more inhale. And exhale, slowly lowering those hips back down and finding your way seated at the center of the mat for our final closing breath together. Taking a moment to again scan through the body, notice any changes that have occurred, whether physically or mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Repeating that mantra just a few more times here. I flow through change with ease or with grace. I accept that which I cannot control. Just planting that seed for transformation in your life. Inhale, reaching those arms up overhead, inviting in those positive intentions. Exhale, hands to prayer, heart center. Just taking a moment to thank yourself for showing up to honor the mind and body in this way today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for day 7 of the 10-day Yoga for Mental Wellness and Deepening Awareness Challenge. If you enjoyed today's class, please be sure to give it a thumbs up as well as subscribing so you don't miss any more classes as they're released. You can also hit that bell icon if you want to be notified as soon as classes are released that you never miss anything. These are also 2 free and easy ways that you can help support this channel, help me expand my reach, and continue being able to provide this free content for you all. So thank you again for your support. Thank you for practicing with me, and I will see you tomorrow for day 8 of our challenge. Have a great day. Namaste.